I am live. Good morning, good morning, good morning again. Brent Harding live. And Wealth Warriors, good morning. Have we got a show for you? We're talking about entrepreneurship as the key to wealth. And I've got to tell you something. This is by far
Wealth
my
Warriors,
favorite.
good morning.
We have
got
a little
a
bit
show
of problem
for
here.
you. We're talking about
Okay.
entrepreneurship as the key to wealth. I'm going to
Oh my goodness, we had a little bit of an explosion there this morning. I am testing things out and I can see that I have some challenges. So what I am going to do is I'm going to practice a little bit more on how to make myself live and working with the show. Just had a little bit of technical difficulty there. So let me try that one again. Entrepreneurship is the key to wealth. And I figured out where the problem lied, so I will resolve that. But here's the deal. I'm really excited. And I'm especially excited because I love to talk about entrepreneurship. Anybody that knows me knows that entrepreneurship is like my lifeblood. It's like the DNA. It's in my DNA. And so I'm excited about that. I come from a family of entrepreneurs. What I want to convey, or the reason why right now it's so crucial in my mind, is because we have leaders that are about to discuss, they are about to get into tax reform. And that is going to be crucial for you and I. Whether we are entrepreneurs or not, it's going to be crucial. Now, you remember I encouraged many of us to wait until March to file our taxes. We're going to let everybody else get their taxes done because we need special attention to our taxes. And we want somebody that's listening to us and not rushing through because they're trying to catch everybody that's coming through the door. So what I'm sharing with you is that now is better than the appropriate time to get in contact with your tax preparer. But I want you to think through what is happening today. Rather than discussing or starting with tax reform, they started with health insurance because they said the health insurance was going to affect the tax base, the tax revenue, tax of tax reform. All right. So now when we stop and we think about that, the ball game has changed. So then that means that tax reform is going to be interesting. It's also going to be challenging. And so it is incumbent upon you and I to be cognizant of what is happening. For example, what is the tax rate right now? Somebody please tell me, somebody put it into the feed. What is the tax rate that most Americans, that the public is paying before they have written down anything or written anything off on the taxes? What is the tax rate? I want somebody to put that in the feed because that is the base. I want you to stop and think, out of every dollar, how much money is going to your taxes. That's why you will always hear the wealthy talk about taxes. They talk about what's going on with the taxes. They're talking about tax reform because I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it is crucial to our wealth, crucial to our wealth. Country leadership talking about tax reform right now. Taxes affect our ability to save. Taxes affect our ability to invest, and taxes affect our retirement. I mean, seriously, who wants to be retiring at 75 years old because it's being creeped up? And I'll tell you, we've got to be paying attention, especially as wealth warriors. If our mission is to create wealth, to sustain our wealth, and to pass it on for the next generation, then we need to be on top of the game. This year, we are in the third year of a 5-year plan. So this year is the year of deliverance. This is the year that we're making it so that we can sustain it in year 4, and then it is prep for legacy. So this is a crucial year for us, and it's a year to be paying significant attention to what is happening. in the marketplace. With that being said, I want to say good morning. Thank you all for being here. My apology for the technical difficulty that we experienced. I want to give an acknowledgement to the early riser in the room, none other than Pamela Stone. Want to say thank you, Pamela, for having been with us last week to talk about E3 Power Up. Pamela will be back with us the third Saturday in September as we move closer to September's event, E3 Power Up September 30th. And we will be plugging in and giving you details both on the show as well as on the E3 Power Up page on Facebook and on Twitter. So again, I want to say thank you to her. I want to acknowledge Robin Tennille, who is our very first ambassador on the program, very first ambassador. I'm so excited for her. And you will be meeting her also on September 30th. Absolutely, unequivocally exciting. Want to give some shout outs and some acknowledgments. I had a blast of a time yesterday at the Dudley Street Main Streets event. It was for women-owned businesses. It was a networking breakfast. Met some incredible women there. And I've got to tell you, ladies, we are taking entrepreneurship by storm. Fellas, we're not disregarding you. Don't get me wrong. However, right now, I want to take a moment for the ladies. We are making headway when it comes to entrepreneurship. Let me give a shout out and some acknowledgments right quick. Dr. Lisa Muhammad was a guest speaker for the show, so I want to acknowledge her. Also, Anna Marie Fidelago was a guest speaker for that event. Incredible ladies, phenomenal stories. I want to say thank you to Nadine Boone, who is with the U.S. Business Administration. She and I are going to be talking about women entrepreneurship and participating in our event come September 30th. Betsy Cohen, who is with the Office of the Mayor's Office of Economic Development here in the city of Boston. Want to acknowledge them. Want to give a shout out to two phenomenal ladies that I'm going to be speaking with again about the E3 Power Up event, also about entrepreneurship in women and how we can collaborate together. So I want to acknowledge Althea Bogan of WFG. And I want to acknowledge Chiquita Rice from Edward Jones. Ladies, it's going to be my pleasure to get together with you. I thank you very much for reaching out to me at the event yesterday. It was absolutely amazing. So with that said, let me get back and talk a little bit more about this topic, this powerful, incredible topic. Entrepreneurship is the key to wealth. So why is it the key to wealth? It's the key to wealth because you and I have to have a way to reduce our taxes. We have to have a way to bring our tax base down. And the way one of the ways that occurs is through outlets. And when I say outlets, what I mean by that is there's entrepreneurship, there are trusts, there are all types of outlets. But one of the most powerful outlets on the planet has got to be entrepreneurship. And I'll tell you something, entrepreneurship does great things for us as human beings. For those that have the courage, that are willing to go out on the edge to start something on their own. That is powerful. And we deserve the benefits of it. Now, for those that have conventional jobs, no disrespect intended, but I'm going to share this with you. You can maximize your dollars through your job by having an external revenue stream. An external revenue stream that will pull down your taxes. Because right now, you hear the rich talking about it because they want to hold on to as much as they can. And the only way that they hold on to it is by finding avenues, vehicles that will pull the base down. When you are an entrepreneur, you have the right to schedule, to use a Schedule C on your taxes, to write off certain, in fact, actually, there are what 475 that immediately come to mind. 475 deductions that you have the ability to partake of when you are an entrepreneur. Now, you've got to be a legitimate entrepreneur. What's the definition? The definition of entrepreneurship in terms of your activity is you've got to be in pursuit of a profit. You've got to really be about the business of wanting to make money. And quite frankly, why else would you be in business but for to make money? I do not want a losing proposition. I don't think you want one either. We want to be able to leave the legacy, but the legacy has to start by establishing something. Now, whatever you decide that you want to get involved in, just get involved. Whether it is a network marketing, whether it is a small business, whatever the case may be, it is imperative, absolutely imperative, that we be about the business of owning something. And our job is to study the wealthy so that we, in fact, can become wealthy. Our job is to study and acknowledge, it is to embrace so that we learn and we're not making the same mistakes. Because far too often we make the mistakes because we decide to go it alone. There is courage in going alone. However, there is courageous when you are willing to be guided on that path. So taxes, you want to reduce that tax base. And by the way, I am not going to somebody's going to put it in the feed. Somebody's going to put it in the feed today about the taxes and what the tax rate is for Americans. For those that are part of the American system, you're going to put it in the feed. I'm not going to tell you that one. That one you're going to have to search for. Now, with that being said, reducing it, when you own a business and you're filing a Schedule C, what's happening is there are a significant amount of expenses that you are going to have anyway. You are going to travel to a destination anyway. Can you imagine writing off 50 plus cents per mile? How many of us have traveled out to Worcester, Massachusetts, have traveled out to Springfield, have taken a cross country? Many of us travel to the South. We will drive to Washington, D.C. We'll drive to Alabama. We'll drive to Atlanta. 50 plus cents a mile can be deducted. You are going to spend it anyway. You can either do the mileage deduction, you can do the gas deductions, but in any case, you are going to spend it anyway. So if you are in fact going to spend it, then it only makes sense that you be positioned to take advantage of the deduction. And that's pretty powerful. So you own a home-based business. You're sitting right here in your home studio. Guess what? You get to make that a deductible environment. Now, obviously, there are laws reference how much, but the point is this: you get to write off a portion of your rent or your mortgage, your electricity, your phone. This device here that you're spending, what, $100 a month, now becomes a source of pleasure because you are going to get to deduct it, which means one of two things: either you have less liability or the government is giving you for a change. How sweet is that? Now, here's the deal relative to taxes and tax reform. If in fact you are not paying attention, then what will happen to all of us that happened 2 years ago is our leaders slipped it in. And while we were paying attention to things that were extraneous, our tax rate went up. I used to complain about London's taxes because I have family that lives there, so that gives me the right to complain, okay? And I got to tell you something. 50%, 50% of their income is paid out in taxes or is taken in taxes. See, if we're not paying attention, watching that ball, that could be us. So you notice right now, I'm not saying what kind of business to be in. I'm not saying what kind of business to be involved in. What I am saying is no matter what, get involved. Do something that's going to reduce your tax base. That is the epitome. That is one of the most significant elements to creating wealth. Because even on our jobs, we have a way to reduce our tax base, a way to get the revenue back, a time frame to work within, and then we make an adjustment so that we can take those extra dollars and put those into something that's going to create revenue, that's going to generate revenue for us. Powerful. I could talk about taxes all day long. Now, I have to share this with you. I've got to give the disclaimer. I am not a tax preparer. I'm not a tax accountant. I'm not a tax consultant. I am a tax watcher. I am a tax observer. I'm observing what's going on because it directly affects current lifestyle, sustainability, and then the future generations. Because what do we keep always saying? What do we always say rather? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and anticipating that there will be a different result. So we have to be tax preparers. We have to be, not tax preparers, we have to be tax observers. We have to be engaged in the game. No more in the bleachers, get off the bleachers, get on the court for a certainty. What you're hearing right now is something that I share with individuals. I share that through coaching. And I want to talk a little bit about this because I have their applications are ready and available for those of you who want to understand more deeply how taxes are affecting or have the ability to affect your business, have the ability to affect your lifestyle, have the ability to affect your income. I have put together a group coaching and individual coaching, and it's known as exponential growth coaching. I want to give you a little bit of the tidbits about what's going to be happening. It's a 12-week program. It includes weekly group calls. The mission is to help entrepreneurs to increase the revenue. Because see, some of us have been in business for a long time. Are we making the revenue that we deserve? If in fact you are not making the revenue, not only that you deserve, but that you've been working diligently at, if that in fact is not happening, then the possibility is that getting to the next level is going to require help. And I'm here to help you. So again, it's a 12-week program, weekly phone calls, helping entrepreneurs to increase that revenue, to be the bridge that takes you to the next level, to help you automate your businesses and to prepare you for incredible events. You know, before we can get to the next place, for example, the Sky Day event that I had the opportunity to go on, which was extraordinary, I had to get the homework done. And a coach helped me to avoid the landmines. 2017, I have to tell you, I've made more revenue in 2017 in the first 6 weeks, the first 8 weeks, the first 8 to 10 weeks of this year. I have made more revenue in comparative periods to last year. If I look at last year's revenue versus this year's, there has been a monumental change. Why? Because I got the help. I decided that it was time to have somebody else show me how to avoid the landmines. So I am taking applications for exponential growth coaching. If you want exponential growth coaching, then we should talk. If you want to keep mulling along, that's your right. But if your expectation is to create wealth, to have financial stability, sustainability, and pass it on to the next generation, you want to text the word coach to 617-438-7949. Text the word coach to 617-438-7949, and we will talk about your exponential growth. Back to the topic at hand. Entrepreneurship is the key to wealth. We've talked about taxes and the fact that taxes make a monumental difference. And right now, we need to be watching our leadership because tax reform is the next conversation on the agenda, on our leadership's agenda. And we need to be actively involved. And involved means not only as an observer, but we need to be talking to the leadership about how tax reform affects us. Whether you are an entrepreneur or a small business owner, whether you own something right now or not, it is imperative to become involved, to lay out the plan that can be executed for a purposeful life. How about that? Taxes have an effect on our ability to invest. That's why when I talk about entrepreneurship, owning, I talk about deductions that you're able to take. So taxes has an effect. Also, our ability to utilize the revenue that we bring in from our entrepreneurship to invest it in other vehicles so that it's creating residual income for us. It's creating dividends for us. So we've got, maybe we have a job, maybe not. We have a business. That business allows us to make deductions. Those revenues that we are getting from either the business itself directly or we're getting as a result of the rebates from our taxes, then are used to invest. And we're investing in entities, in companies that are going to give us a return on our investment, that are going to give us sometimes it's extraordinary, sometimes it's small. But you know, the interesting thing about small is if you've got many of them, small can add up to a large number. Because sometimes small goes under the radar. And when it goes under the radar, it's not necessarily noticed. However, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching is what you will hear. And in fact, we're going to be part of the program on September 30th at E3 Power Up 2017 is going to be dedicated to investing. Because ladies, we do not invest enough. And we do not invest in many instances because we just don't know what we don't know. Well, guess what? It's time to raise the bar. It's time to get educated. You know, when we say E3 Power Up, the first E is educate for business clarity. It doesn't mean that we do not know. It doesn't mean we need to run down and take a course. No, it means that we need to get clear about what we're doing. And part of what we're doing is building for the future. And how do we build? We build layers at a time. And the layers are built through vehicles such as entrepreneurship. That's why you hear me speak so heavily about it. Now, what is the difference between entrepreneurship versus small business? Well, in some instances, more often than not, small businesses are typically they're brick and mortar. Typically, they are product driven. Typically, they are at a specific location. And typically, they are requiring loans in order to move that business. So a small business, grocery store, a small business, a retail store, a small business, hair salon, a small business, someplace that people go to. Small business. So small business definitely has a definition. Entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship oftentimes is singular. Entrepreneurship is something that you and I can do from the comfort of our home. Entrepreneurship is something that you say today you want to start a business, you can hang a shingle and get started. Entrepreneurship is something that you can do online. But generally, it's about the solo activity, or it's about being an independent contractor and having others work with you. However, they're working with you, you're still on solo watch. That's generally the difference between the two. Now, next week, we'll talk about more of the formality of the differences. Generally, in an entrepreneurial environment, you're the person making the decision. You do not necessarily have a board of directors or somebody you need to report to, which can be a great thing, but it can also be a dangerous thing. And then you've got the other flip side of the coin, which is about the which is about small business. So want to convey that message to you. So we've said taxes, we have said investing, retirement. I don't know about you, but see, I want to retire on the beaches of the world. I want to retire on a cruise ship, and I want to have money coming in. Do you? Have you set that up? Have you created the structure that's going to make that happen? If, in fact, that has not been the case, then I submit to you that don't walk, run to start a business so that you can start diversifying and you can be postured for your retirement. I'm going to submit to you whether you are young, whether you are a millennium, whether you are in your 30s, whether you are Generation X, there is no time like the present to prepare for your future life. See, far too often we think we have all the time in the world. And the reality is that 10 years will go by in a blink. And we'll wake up one day and go, where the heck did that time go to? All gone. So I'm going to submit to you that entrepreneurship can be a great vehicle for your retirement. Prepare now so that you have a smooth transition, not a bumpy road, not a road that nobody wants to drive down. You want a smooth transition. And it, in fact, happens. It, in fact, happens when we prepare, when we lay it out, when we have those steps along the way. And we're going to talk about the steps to entrepreneurship in general for the next 4 weeks. I want to give a shout out right now and a thank you to Dr. Letitia Wright, who is fed into our feed today, who was posted in our feed today. Also, Pamela Stone posted in our feed. Thank you very much, ladies, for having done that. Want to give a shout out to all of you that continuously watch the broadcast. Thank you so much. Take a moment right now, and I'm going to talk to you about some events that are happening today that you, as entrepreneurs, budding entrepreneurs, can take advantage of. There is the Minority Business Expo that's occurring at noontime today at the Reggie Lewis Center. There's also, for the ladies, there's the second annual Empowerment High Tea event. It's from 1 to 4 p.m., and that's going to be in Roxbury. And you can join me and Chantel Bethea this afternoon at 4 p.m. for the second annual Cupcake and Cocktails Social happening in Worcester, Massachusetts. And ladies and gentlemen, especially those of us that live in Massachusetts, get in the car. It's time to move. We've got to circulate. We've got to go beyond a 30-minute ride. It's not that long. It's a challenge. It's courageous. Do it. I want to see you this afternoon, meet you face to face and in person. I want to share a couple of other upcoming activities, and that starts with April 7th. I have the privilege of speaking at the Boston Speakers Series. It's going to be April 7th. You can get tickets on Eventbrite. The beauty is it's complimentary. I'm going to be talking about my story, my life, and my rules. And so I am extremely excited about that. The event starts at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I know, Linda Davis, you asked about that, so I hope that I've answered that question for you. Also, I want to share with you, again, Exponential Growth Coaching starts on April 21st. That's Exponential Growth. That's happening on April 21st. On April 29th, I am hosting an event called, well, not an event, but a workshop called I Want My Life Back Better. The focus, for those that have had crises in their lives, whether it's divorce, it's sickness, you've had to file bankruptcy, you've had a loss. It is about getting your life back. How do we get it back better? And we're talking about life from a financial point of view. See, I'm not a doctor. So if you need to have the broken bones fixed, I need to send you over to a doctor. If I'm not a dentist, can't fix the teeth. However, let it talk about money and wealth. Here's a great example. You are paying a mortgage. You and whoever are paying a mortgage together. Is your name on the deed? I have met far too many women that are paying on mortgages and they've got no ownership in the property. Very sad. I'm not negating the fellas because I've seen it happen to you as well. This is open for men and women. Do you want your life back better? April 29th, it's going to be posted up on Eventbrite on April 1st. And then the quintessential for the year is E3 Power Up 2017 happening on September 30th. And again, we will be posting details in the feed. So I've covered the happenings for today. If you have events that you would like me to share with the Wealth Warrior family, you want to send those events to Brent at BrentSHarding.com. Again, Brent at BrentSHarding.com. You can tell I've just gotten that, huh? Coaching, you can send, text to Brent Harding. You can text to 617-438-7949, and all you have to do is put in coach, and I will be following up with you. Okay, circle back. Entrepreneurship is a key. I really want to say it is the key, but I can't say that because it's not true. But it's pretty daggone close. It is an essential, crucial key to your wealth, to our wealth, is understanding and investing in entrepreneurship. And there are so many opportunities that can start as low as $149.95. And I'll tell you one thing, I'd rather you spend $149.95, $199, up to $500 on a business, on a turnkey business, and get your feet wet and understand what it's about. It already comes with everything you need. I'd rather have you do that so that you get a feel for it, you get a taste for it. So then you are prepared for whatever it is that you actually want to do. So for example, you want to open up a restaurant. Terrific. Make some money in something else that people need or want. And I'll be talking about those in the upcoming weeks. They need or want. Make your money there. Pool that money and then be about the business of opening up your dream opportunity, your dream business, whatever it may be, opening up that restaurant. You took this vehicle to get you to your destination. See, we don't always have to go to the destination. Sometimes we can take steps that lead us there. I've seen far too many individuals take money out of their retirement, money out of their savings, and have essentially no experience to go along with it. Now, there are success stories of people that have taken the money out. Dr. Muhammad is an example of that. However, she had a written plan that allowed her to forecast in advance what life was going to be like. And she was very fortunate. I am submitting to you because too often entrepreneurs, we just get up and run. We just get up and go, we're going to do this. Do this. Have something in writing. See, for businesses, they get a business plan. When you want to go when you want to go to the bank and you're looking for money, you're going to a lender, you're looking to go into an investor, you're going to the SBA, whatever the case may be. You and I, as entrepreneurs, we write marketing and sales performance plans. How are we marketing it? What are our sales going to be? And how are we measuring the performance? See, that's what we do. And in some instances, it's a bit sketchy. So, entrepreneurship is a key to your wealth movement. It is a key to creating the wealth that you are, in fact, looking to create. You're creating it for the here and now. You're making sure it sustains itself, and you're passing it on to the next generation. How powerful is that? Well, with that having been said, for those of you who have not filed your taxes yet, now is a great time. Pick up the book on the 475 deductions that we've talked about. It's in the feed. Pick that book up. Look that book over. Figure out whether you are currently in the job mode. Is there anything that you can use to make deductions Talk to your tax professional, your tax preparer about that, because I am amazed at how many creative ways we can utilize. Do you realize that companies like GE have hundreds of accountants on staff? Why? Because they're looking for those deductions. We should too. Be on the watch, be on the lookout for what our leaders are doing right now. Tax reform is the next stop. Taxes affect our ability to save, they affect our ability to invest, and they affect our ability to retire the way we want to retire. Sustainable wealth, passing it on to the next generation. I want to thank you very, very much for being with us on the broadcast today. This was a short one. We will be back next week with an amazing broadcast. So get ready. For the next 3 weeks, we're going to be talking about entrepreneurship, because I want to drive that point home that you and I, it is our imperative to own. Ownership. That's why America became what it is today. We have the ability to be great, you and I. Let's go out and be courageous, be great, be absolutely extraordinary. I'll see you next week. Have an amazing day. Hopefully, I'll see you at one of those 3 events that we talked about. Take care. Bye-bye now.